Hi, Link by Ink. It's Nancy Burt-Preece, and happy November 1st. It's hard to believe, like we're getting close to the holidays. Oh my goodness. So I wanted to show you a quick card. It's called the Flip Flap card, and I cased it from Dawn Griffith. And she used the Scotty dog, which was super cute. But I've done a few Scotty dog things. So I thought, I really want to do something different. So when you open it, it pops up like this. And underneath is the cute little saying with junk on it. So let me show you how to make this. It is very quick and easy, easy to reproduce, and it's fun, I think, anyway. I may not make the whole card, but I'll show you. I did include, I'll include with this video a picture so that you can see all the dimensions so you don't have to worry about writing them down. So I did some of the stamping and such ahead of time. So what I do is I have my regular card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have some of the cottage wreath or gingham cottage DSP, which I cut at 4 and 5 1/4. I like this as mint macaron. I think it goes well with the shaded spruce. So what I did is I put them both in. I opened it up. Now, Dawn used repositional tape. I just used a little washi tape to hold this in place. And this is the largest die from the Stylish Shapes. So I just ran both of those through. It gave me 2 pieces. This one I can put aside and use for fun. Whatever I choose to do with it. This one I'm going to need. Then I used the second largest in the circle dies, layering circle dies. And I cut that out. And I think, in case you're wondering, it measures like 2 5/8. So that's what I did first. Then I'm going to tie, and I didn't get my ribbon out. I may not do that right now. Well, let's see if I can get it open super quick. I'm going to put my ribbon on and tie that first. And I used about 12 inches, so you can go back and forth. Some people like to just use a part across and then have people just do a little, just a little bit of a, add a little bit to it to make it a knot. I'm just going to actually wrap it because I found that was almost as tricky as doing it this way. Some of my people do not like making knots. So those are always the ones that are like, oh, I hate doing this. And I help them and life is fine. So I just tied that. I'll trim it up later. Then I can go ahead and add some adhesive. Just adding my green glue here, or Tombow as we all love to call it, green glue, but it is Tombow. And I will make sure that's not going in there. I will just quickly add this right to the front of my card. And it should fit the circle, should fit just nicely. I'm just kind of getting that on there. It may not be exactly 100%, but it should be pretty good. Hold that down for a minute. Remember, we used to have these gum erasers, but now you can find them at a craft store. Boy, when I'm using green glue, I need my gum eraser. I really do, because I usually add a little bit of too much glue, just like right there. Okay, so I've got my front. I can trim this later. Now, I went ahead and stamped this in Early Espresso, and I am going to tell you just briefly on your, let me see if I can actually show you, right on your case is where these line up with the dies. I'm not using a die today, but I thought I'd give you this little tip. And what I did is I actually lined these up on here, and where this little piece was, this little arrow, I actually made a little mark with a marker. So I know when I'm stamping these and I want to cut them out, that's how I have to line them up. So that's a little tip for you today. So I already did this one. So what am I going to do with this one? Well, if you like to watch Patty Bennett, she recently did this. I heard one of my customers talk about it today, which is the rock and roll technique. So I'm going to ink it up in the mint macaron, which is this color from the DSP. And then I'm going to do the rock and roll. Just a little bit. Come right around. I don't add a lot. Just a little. Just kind of going around. No rhyme or reason. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I put it on the circle. And isn't that a pretty effect? So that is another way to get a couple of colors on your ink there, on your stamp. Now I'm taking some real red and I'm just coming through and adding a couple of red berries. I usually always do odd numbers. I'm sure you guys do too. Just seems to be looking nice. And now I just added an even. Okay, so who knows what I'm going to do. But odd or good, but I'm going to put a ribbon kind of over one, so it'll be okay. I'm kind of that kind of stamper. I kind of go with the flow. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside white, kind of line it up where I want it, and close it up. Now, this is where I always have to tell my stampers, light, light, light. Don't make a huge dark mark that you can't erase. Light, light. Because for some reason, some of them are like on the pencil, and that is not good. So then I'm going to add, I already did the banner pick-a-punch to the edge. This is a 1-inch piece of DSP from the Gingham Cottage paper. It's 5 inches by 1 inch, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So it gives me that little flap that will go right underneath. And this is kind of the middle. So I'm using that, basically that little bit of line to line this up kind of in the middle. So just checking it out, because I did use, yep, it looks like it's right in the middle. And I'm going to then adhere this to the card front. Okay. Very simple. Adding this to our card front. Okay. And I have to laugh when I was saying about the pencil, because the first time I did it, I made the lines too dark too. So I'm not just saying it for my customers. I do it as well. Okay, I'm just moving that flap in there. And I'm going to add adhesive only to the arm, the flap. That's the only part that's getting adhesive. And if it runs over like I just did on camera, I'm going to take it off with my finger. I love when I do things like that, right on camera. Okay, coming back, putting that down. And then I'm going to set this green piece right in there, and it should fit just perfectly. I'm going to hold it down for a second. And then I'm going to gently lift it up. Isn't that clever? I wish I had come up with that fun fold myself, but I didn't. I have to give credit where credit's due. And I did get a little glue on there, so I'm taking my gum eraser and getting that. And then gently erasing my line. You can leave it a little bit if you want, because it gives you a good sense on where you're going to stamp your saying, which I'm just going to stamp in I can still see it. You might not be able to. I'm going to stamp this saying, and I'm stamping it from the Christmas barn, which says Merry Christmas to you and yours. I'm going to stamp it right in the middle. And I don't know about you, but I always encourage my customers, and I try to do it too, close my stamp pads as soon as I'm done using it. Number one, then it doesn't dry out. But number two, then I don't drop something in it. I don't know if you've ever done that, but that seems to be a frequent for me. So here we go. I'm going to put that right there. Well, I've got my scissors right here. I'm going to trim it. And I got glue sticking everywhere, as usual. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of green glue to my bow. I popped it up on another project, but this one I really thought with this glitter glimmer paper stuff, it really is kind of heavy and with a little bit of adhesive. Now, if I put it down here, then I have trouble opening it. I did that the first time. That was a real brilliant stroke there. So I'm going to put it at the top. And there we have our flip-flap card. And you notice I don't have the ribbon exactly in the same spot, and I'm okay with that. If you really wanted to make them completely uniform, you'd have to measure that out. I'm not a measurer, but I hope you enjoy this fun flip-flap card, and I hope you show me what you make with it. I hope you have a wonderful November 1st and have a great rest of November if I don't talk to you sooner. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, but I might talk to you before then. So have a good one. Bye-bye.